The fuck?
All right, Ryan didn't answer on Skype. I'm gonna try him here.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
Ryan sounds very effeminate.
Brian sounds like what?
Very effeminate?
Brian sounds like, yeah, didn't you know?
Where is he?
Where is he? He's in the room. I took his phone. I'm getting ice in our hotel.
Why did you take his
Sorry.
phone?
Because his phone has the digital room key.
Wow.
I know,
Fancy.
it's fancy.
Dude, that's the fanciest shit ever.
It is really fancy. Like, we don't actually have a room key. It's all digital on his phone.
Okay. Well, so you're live on the podcast right now. Anything you wanna say? How's your week going? How's the flight? All that?
No way, I'm live on the podcast?
Yeah, you're on the podcast right now.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone listening, this is our number one
honored.
fan, Shaylee Simon or Shaylee
So
Sturdivant.
honored.
Almost called you by your maiden name.
Well, we're having a great time. We just got into Indy, you know.
Very nice.
Great time.
You guys excited for the Jonas Brothers?
I am. I don't know if Ryan is, though.
Why not? He's burning up.
He is. Sorry, I'm live on the podcast right now, Ryan. It's Dean.
Tell Ryan to not talk to the.
What's going on?
Hey, can you give the phone back to the talent?
Dang.
No, I'm the talent.
Well, we tried to call you on Skype, but apparently you don't have your Skype on all the time.
No, I don't. Are you guys? You have me on the phone? Brandon, you're gonna have to tell me about these waivers again, because I'm really freaking confused.
Yeah, I've been getting a little bit of that from you guys. Let's see.
I was confused about him too, though.
I kind of like explained it to Dean a little bit earlier because he had some questions about when you have multiple players that you have on waiver priorities and everything like that. But the way our league's set up, it's like continuously rolling. So let's say there's 10 guys in the league.
Wait, Ryan, can you hear him?
Barely.
Hold on, I'm gonna pass you the phone. There you go.
So let's say there's like 10 guys in the league, and you know everybody has, let's say everybody has 2 picks or whatever, 2 guys that they're trying to pick up on waivers, you know. And so the guy who has got the number 1 priority, he gets the guy that he wants, and then his waiver priority drops all the way down to 10. And then the guy at number 2, he will have the next highest priority, so the guy that he has slotted next available on his waiver priority, he gets to pick that guy, and then he drops all the way down to 10, and the guy who was at 1 originally moves up to 9, and just kind of like, it's like a conveyor belt type thing.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like a reverse draft.
Kind of, yeah.
Or it's just like a draft. It's like a 1 through 10 draft
It's
consistent.
not about who picked last. It's about who picked somebody up.
Yes, exactly. And so what you could do is, like, let's say there's a guy that you want to pick up, but you don't think anybody else is going to be interested in him. You could just wait for waivers to clear and then just pick him up and not lose any of your waiver priority.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because waivers clear on Thursday, so.
They cleared yesterday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So yeah, Tuesday is the day you put in your picks for every player, and then Wednesday you get to see which guys you got, and then I figure like Wednesday's kind of like the day you kind of decide for start and sit. Like, okay, I'm gonna start this guy and I'm gonna bench this guy.
Yeah.
And the first day is about getting your personnel in order after the last week.
Our waiver
So
priorities
basically, it's not
don't
like
vary.
Whoever has the first waiver, it's not like they can pick like 3 people up. Because once they pick up that first waiver, then they're back to the bottom of the barrel.
Exactly. They could pick up 3 people if they wanted to. If the other 2 guys that they wanted, nobody else wanted them.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all about who wants which players. It really is, the design of the waivers is to make sure that everybody has essentially a chance at getting the top talent available. And it's not just one guy, whoever's the quickest to the phone to pick up the guy that's available.
James.
Which was James, who would basically sit by the TV on Sunday and immediately pick up and drop players as he felt.
Whoever's available,
Yeah, whoever's doing hot at the time. And you're like, dude I can't believe he had over 100 transactions in 1 year. That's like,
so
I still don't get it.
So Ryan,
Barely hear you, Dean.
pass me the phone.
Yeah, gotcha.
Did you have any waiver picks this week, or anybody you tried to put a waiver in for that you didn't get?
I picked up AP. That was the only person I went after. That was mostly just because Darius Geis was out.
You can.
I still have Maddon, but he's kind of like the insurance policy. I really think Sanders is a guy that I think he's going to be the workhorse there in Philadelphia eventually, so I'm holding on to him, but I don't feel like he's as much of an insurance policy. I think he's just more of a wait and see.
Yeah.
But AP is just a guy that I can put in if it's a good matchup.
All right.
It's always better to have running backs that are starters versus...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially
Then handcuffs.
Especially with Geis down.
Yeah, with Geis down and AP's history, I mean, he's a man you can trust.
Guys I was really excited about, but, they're saying now that he's going to possibly be out for like 8 weeks, so I don't want to touch him again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say, Brandon?
Oh, I was going to say, one of the guys at my work showed me how you can do this, because I had no idea you could see this. But what you can do, only on the desktop, I don't think you can see it on the mobile app with Yahoo, but you can see who made waiver bids on a certain player. So, like, I was able to see, like, after the transaction was done that Chad had, like, the 10th priority, and he also made a bid on Malcolm Brown. And then you can see...
Okay.
You could see like how many people made bids on it. Like if you go on the actual Yahoo site, and it's like underneath, like where you could see like where the transactions were made on Yahoo, like with the desktop.
Yeah.
You can there's like a tab on there that says like waiver bids, and you can see who's done that. I had no idea. This is the first time I've ever seen it, but yeah, it's one of those ways that makes you feel a little bit better that you spent a waiver to get a guy that somebody else wanted. Because if you spend a waiver on a guy that nobody else wanted, you feel kind of like you just wasted your waiver bid, your waiver priority.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought you drafted Malcolm Brown though.
No, I drafted the other guy, and he got 1 carry for 0 yards in the first week, and Malcolm Brown ended up being the backup with the Rams.
Gotcha. And Dean, why are you still holding on to Patton?
Sorry, was that? Who am I holding on to? Who?
Or the backup Cowboys running back?
Oh, Pollard.
Yeah. I'm still holding on to Pollard just because I don't know. I'm feeling bad juju from Zeke. I'm not gonna lie.
Just handcuffing him for just in case.
Like I don't need another spot on my roster, so I'm just keeping handcuffs. Like
I'm not gonna lie to you. I get into those same situations too, where I'm like, I need to eventually, like, let's say I have a really good defense or a really good kicker, one of which I don't want to drop.
Yeah.
So I'll keep a player like that on my roster that I really don't give a shit about dropping.
Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna keep him because I don't know, something could happen.
Well, there's just nobody. There's just nobody else out there that you feel like you need to drop him to pick up, right? Is that kind of how you feel?
Your dad picked up any good receiver that was left.
My dad?
Yeah.
He made
Dude,
eight
he
moves.
put in so many waiver claims.
Well, his team shit the bed week 1.
Quarters wide receivers on his roster.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
That was pretty bad, man.
He's one like us.
Hey, you score 60 points in a week, you don't feel good in fantasy.
No, but when you score 140, you feel pretty fucking good.
God.
Yeah.
But while we got you, because I know that you guys are over in Indiana for the Jonas Brothers, don't want to interrupt your fun evening.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys got some ice involved. Sounds fun. Getting your drink on, I guess.
Just some bourbon.
There you go. So yeah, just real quick, we'll just do a quick rundown with you, and then Brandon and I will touch on some stuff. But how was the week? How was the flight? Give us all that.
Week's been good. Flight was fine. Got here around 5:10. Met up, had some food with her friend Hannah. Went and had some drinks. It's really funny, man. Like the whole stadium layout here. Like, oh yeah, shout out Dre, Hannah's boyfriend, because he follows us on Instagram. But what I was saying was the stadium layout here is so intriguing. Like we pulled up and you have Lucas Oil Stadium. Right behind it you have the field house where the Pacers play at, and there's another minor league team. I think it's a Reds affiliate or an Indians affiliate. I can't remember. They've got so many like professional stadiums laid out one after another. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how the fuck? Like, there's no parking anywhere. They don't need parking. Everybody just walks around.
Is that small? They just walk around?
Yeah.
Huh.
They park wherever, free parking, and you just walk in.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
It's dope though. It looks pretty sick.
yeah, that's
But
cool.
I did walk past like a full Colts fan. I was like, he's really tired.
Oh, what fan?
Colts fan.
Oh, Colts fan. Shouldn't you have retired? What a dick.
Damn.
He just retired.
That's messed up.
I know.
Oh, man. But, yeah, so NFL Week 1, do you have any highlights? What are your big... You're our NFL guy. Didn't think we were going to get you on the phone, so you have any...
Oh, it's all good, man. Definitely was shocked that the Browns got their ass kicked. I don't think that is something that I don't think that's in the norm. But it was kind of a reminder to them that they need to show up, and it's not about the talent they have on their team. They need to have a good game plan too. And that was my biggest concern with them going in. I think a lot of people are taking a lot of hype to the Ravens right now. I'm not taking any hype to anybody that's playing the Dolphins at the moment. And that's not to say I wasn't impressed with Lamar Jackson. I just think that the Dolphins are the worst team in football. They might be worse than the 0-16 Lions that we saw, a decade ago. It's that bad.
That would be...
They look awful.
They look they look awful.
Yeah.
When RG3's going in there and scoring a touchdown like nothing. Like, that's how you know.
Yeah, that's how you know.
Exactly.
I was talking to you guys earlier about the Pick'em League. I was like, the Patriots... My strategy was going to be anybody playing the Dolphins. We know what happened last year down in Miami with the Patriots, with the Miami Miracle. I mean, are you saying the Patriots aren't a lock for this week, though?
No, dude, I'm definitely picking the Patriots as a lock because AB will probably end up playing this week. That's what it's looking like. The defense is hot. They don't have anybody to throw the ball to, man. I mean, I like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he's got nobody to throw to. The last ditch effort they had was Kenny Stills, and now he plays for the Texans.
I do like that. It is a good pick. I don't know if you want to spend the Patriots pick for this week, though.
Yeah. Picking the Patriots this early, it's kind of hard because you only get to pick them once. But still, it's just floating out there like that. I mean, every team that's going to play the Dolphins seems like a lock.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
definitely.
So
Honestly, at this point, you could probably pick whoever's playing the Jets now because of the lack of the talent, because the injury bug that's hit them hard.
dude, yeah.
Their quarterback just got diagnosed with mono. Like, what 20-year-old in their fucking right mind gets diagnosed with mono?
I only thought that was like a high school girl disease. I didn't even think that was a real thing. Wait, didn't you get mono?
Oof.
I got mono in 5th grade.
Heyo.
Oy.
Really had it in 2nd.
Jesus Christ. 2nd
Getting
grade?
started early. God.
Well, and you
We're
married her?
I don't know, man. What can you do?
You know, those Midwesterners.
Yeah, nothing else.
Last thing before we let you go, Hunter Henry injury.
It's a bummer. I think we saw the same thing with Keenan Allen towards the beginning of his career, so it doesn't concern me long term. It concerns me that they continuously have to freaking call Antonio Gates and be like, all right, maybe we don't want you to retire yet. But no,
God.
You think they're giving him a phone call?
Oh, for sure they are.
I think it'll happen eventually, man. They got nobody else. He knows the offense.
You
They
don't
have
trust Virgil Green?
Virgil Green can definitely put the work in for them. They have no issue flexing out Travis Benjamin, whether it's Inman or Mike Williams that's in there. Their offense will run fine. It runs through Rivers. It always has. The biggest issue that they've always had is special team. I was mostly impressed with the fact that their backup kicker went in there and hit a field goal and 2 extra points. I kept listening to every announcer talk about how the Colts, Adam Vinatieri lost this game for them, and not one of them talked about how our backup kicker actually won this game for us.
Yeah.
He was responsible for an extra 5 points that Vinatieri didn't hit. So take the kickers out of the game, it's still a tie, and we end up in overtime.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
You lost Mike Williams too. It looks like he's questionable to play.
Yeah, he said Mike Williams is out too.
Still questionable. Still questionable.
Okay.
They didn't find any damage to his knee, but they're probably gonna play it week to week.
Any concern this week going into Detroit? The Lions already tied with the Cardinals. You think they're gonna get 2 ties?
No,
Two ties.
I think that the Lions are a good football team. I think with Matthew Stafford, it's just like when the Chargers had Rivers and Colbert. You can play anybody else back there. Stafford's not a bad quarterback. Whatever else shows up with his team is going to be the output of the game. But, you can't sleep on a team like that has decent defense and has the ability to score points. So I don't look for it to be a cakewalk for the Chargers whatsoever. I do want to give a huge shout out to Austin Eckler, though, because
Huge game.
He just shit on anything Melvin Gordon wanted.
Oh yeah.
Bad.
Huge game.
And it was funny because I don't know if I was talking to you guys about it or I was talking to Fisher about it, but they have, always had the ability to make running backs shine in that offense, and better running backs have shined greater. But always, Phillip Rivers gets rid of the ball faster than anybody else in football. Gives the ball to the running backs in space, and Austin Eckler proves that he is a player that can do what every other running back in the NFL can do when there's space available.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
So that's the last person I wanted to give a shout out to. But you guys have a fantastic evening. It looks like the Bucks actually might pull this game off. I don't know if you guys were watching or not.
Yeah, we're watching right now. This is a terrible Thursday night game.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the Panthers, but man, dude, ever since last season, week 7, whatever it was, and they just went on a 9-game losing streak, they just cannot pick it up.
Nah, dude, they don't have the weapons.
No.
That team that played the Broncos in the Super Bowl is gone. They don't have the weapons anymore.
No.
Christian McCaffrey is a stud, and Cam Newton, I love Cam Newton. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. But they have not done a good enough job to surround those 2 players with athletes they need.
Yeah.
Devin Funchess currently played for the Colts, so he just got hurt. Every talent that they've had has moved on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ryan, thanks for picking up the phone. Or actually, thank your secretary. Your wife. I was kidding. Yeah, thanks, Shaylee, for answering the phone. And, yeah, man, have fun at the Jonas Brothers. Send us some snaps and Instagram lives or whatever kids do these days.
Yeah, you got it, man.
All right, man.
I'll shotgun some White Claws for you guys tomorrow.
Hey, there you go. Claws for the bra. I don't know what a rhyme is.
For the bras.
There you go.
All right, brothers. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Boys, let's get to it.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Lights, camera, action.
What's up, everybody? We are the Three Amigos and a Podcast, episode 66, I think.
Jeez, the double 6.
I'm starting to lose count, dude. I can't count past my age, so that's not very high.
Well, we're
but yeah, we're a man down.
We're down a man.
As you heard previously, we had Ryan on the call for a little bit. Shout out, the Sturdivants out in Indiana, going to see the Joe Bros on a nice little concert.
You've seen the Jonas Brothers before, haven't you?
I've never seen the Jonas Brothers before.
You seem like you would see the Jonas
I
Brothers.
have not. I've seen Sam Smith.
No, you saw.
Uh,
Who did you see? You saw someone similar to Jonas Brothers. Another Disney star.
Demi Lovato.
Oh, that's who it was.
Yeah,
That's what you saw.
that's what I saw. I saw it all.
You saw it all.
I saw it all.
You lived up to. Did it live up to it or what?
Yeah, they gave out free heroin out the door. No, I'm just
okay.
kidding. That's
Nice.
That's a shot at Demi. She didn't deserve that. No, we actually went with Sarah and I went with Ryan and Shaylee. So yeah, it was a really fun concert. It was good with DJ Khaled.
That's right.
But what are you hating on, dude? You went and saw like J-Lo or some shit.
I did see J-Lo,
Yeah.
but that wasn't my choice. That was a
It doesn't
gift.
matter. You think Demi was my choice?
It was your
You
choice.
think Jonas Brothers is Ryan's choice?
It is.
No, these aren't our choices.
I'm not giving him shit. I'm just, I'm just pointing out, that that's something you would want to see,
I would not want to see the Jonas Brothers.
but you would want to see Demi Lovato.
I'd want to go see Sam Smith again.
Wow.
Or Shawn Mendes. I'd go see Shawn Mendes in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know either of them. Well, I know I've heard of Sam Smith.
You've heard of Shawn Mendes, you idiot.
I've never heard of him.
You
Don't
are-
call me an idiot.
You're a piece of shit.
I'm not an idiot. Don't call me a piece of shit.
Anyways, how was your week?
Who dat? Who Shawn Mendes?
We dat.
New phone. Who dis?
Who dat? We dat.
Uh,
This
yeah, no,
episode
it
quickly
was-
flew off the rails.
What?
This episode quickly flew off the rails.
It's a good week. Brother just got back in town from Japan.
Yeah, that was,
Sister just got back from Hawaii. She's kind of visiting us again.
wasn't she just here?
She was just here.
She went back
this-
and then came back?
No, this was her like originally scheduled time that she was going to visit, and last time she just kind of like, "Hey guys, I'm coming,"
Gotcha.
because she's got an issue with her knee, and I guess like all the doctors on the island are
Not very
either
good.
not covered by her insurance. I don't even know, but just I guess the knee specialist is out here or some crap. I don't know, yeah, I got the whole family back together. So it should be pretty fun.
Very nice. Yeah.
We're gonna celebrate our dog's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
We're just gonna have steaks in the backyard, but still,
Do they get one?
I don't know if I bet you my mom's gonna give him some
Which dog?
doggo.
Oh, it's Doggo's
It's
birthday.
Doggo's birthday. Well, you know what
How
it
old
is?
is he?
Every year around this time we go to Hawaii. This is the first year that we're gonna be at home, so Doggo is always neglected on his own birthday.
Ah.
So
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't
This-
remember though.
this is how you know that we're a white family, because we celebrate our dog's birthday.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what a day that any of my dog's birthdays are ever.
Honestly, I didn't know it either, but I just knew it was around this time of the year because my mom always talks about it. And yeah, so we're gonna be
Alright,
having
cool.
some steak courtesy of my mom. So
Holla.
we
Shout out Debbie.
gotta appreciate Doggo and his contribution to this world,
There we go.
getting us some
Yeah,
nice steak.
Some nice steaks.
That's right.
Free dinner anytime.
How was your week?
My week was good. Sarah was back last weekend, so that was fun. We just got to have some time together, which was always good. She's back up in San Jose. So, this is a long week for me. I've had 2 4-day work weeks in a row. So this is the first 5-day work week, and I'm struggling.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm like, the week should be over today.
You know what? It was really weird. Yet last week it was a 4-day work week, but it felt so long.
It did.
And
It felt longer than 4.
this week, I feel like it's going by really quickly, and it's a 5-day
Yeah?
work week. Yeah,
Well, that's good for you, man. I feel like it's dragging.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
Yeah, well, let's get into it. We had NFL Week 1. It was just fun to have football back.
yes,
It was just nice to, turn on Chris Hansen or whatever his name is,
yeah.
watch some NFL Red Zone,
Hanson,
just get it going. That was nice. A lot of games, a lot of action.
Hanson is. I will say this, like for those who don't watch Red Zone at all, Hansen is amazing.
He's probably
That-
the most talented broadcaster I've ever seen.
Exactly. That's literally because there's so much stuff going on, and he literally transitions, and he puts like
Dude, he transitions so well. He's like, oh, we got, Jameis Winston sitting in his end zone right now. Looks like they're going to go to fourth down, and we're going to transition over to the Eagles game where we got Carson Wentz running in a touchdown and blah. And it's like, how did you get all this information that quickly?
Yeah, no, and he's
How did you do that?
and it seems like he like puts the camera guys, like the guys who are putting the different feeds up there, he puts them in place. It's almost like he's coordinating the whole broadcast
Yes.
while he's broadcasting.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's like he has the video switcher to be like,
Yeah.
oh, did you see that? Go there.
yeah, exactly. It's pretty amazing. If you don't have it or you don't know how to stream it off of Reddit or whatever it is, it's certainly like if you're into fantasy football, it's definitely worth it.
Oh, 100%. Ever since we lost the Chargers, I definitely would say red zone is my preferred method of watching football now.
Without a doubt.
Basically, life is just fantasy now. Fantasy football.
Well, there's no commercials with Red Zone.
No, and it's perfect. And it's funny you say commercials because, after, obviously, Red Zone only does the morning games, the 10 o'clock games. It's where the bulk of them is.
Well, they do all of them.
Oh, they go through the afternoon too?
They do the afternoon, and then they stop before the Sunday night game.
Oh, yeah. I stopped watching after the morning games once the 1 o'clock games.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I usually stop. I'm like, I can't watch this much. It's just too much.
Yeah, once the 1 o'clock games come on, I switch over to just like one game, and I'll watch that game.
Oh.
But, dude, how annoying are football commercials? Like, they just recycle the same ones over and over and over
like
again.
right now, we're seeing Tony Romo in the Corona commercial. I feel
We've
like
seen this one forever.
I feel like it's been on TV for, 5 years or something?
Yeah,
like that?
it's always
ever
the
since
same
Tony
one.
Romo retired or something.
Yep. It's always the same one, and I'm like, dude, I forgot how annoying commercials were, because I just stream everything now.
Yeah.
It's like, the only commercial I'll see is if I watch Hulu, which I don't really ever do, but...
Yeah, I don't like commercials, and
No,
I think
not at all.
I think everybody hates them, and that's why everybody's all into this DVR. But this is like a total tangent that we just went on.
Sorry, yeah, you said commercials, so I was just like, dude, football commercials are the worst. But yeah, Ryan, like we said, is out in Indiana, so we don't really have a whole lot of week 1 breakdown. We're really more focused on the fantasy aspect of it. Week 1 fantasy. Who were your big guys? What did you think?
Well, congratulations to Dean. His team just went ham. First of all,
thank you. It's always nice to be, the big dick on campus. Going out week 1, getting that big dog win, scoring 146 points, just mashing the competition.
In a standard league, guys.
Standard non-PPR league, 146 points. My team just went ham. Got to give a shout out to Lamar Jackson and Keenan Allen, Delvin Cook, Mark Ingram. Shout out to Butker, my kicker. Just got to give the whole squad a whole little shout out.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, week 1, how did you feel like your team did? We all came out with a win, which was nice.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I felt like my team massively underperformed, but I don't see that transitioning like week to week. Julio Jones was held to like 30 yards receiving. That's not going to go over every week.
Mm-hmm.
Julio Jones is top 3 receiver in the league,
Easily.
without a doubt.
Easily,
and
yeah.
He did have a tough matchup. I felt like I had some pretty tough matchups this week, but was fortunate enough to eke out the win. Drew Brees came through for me on Monday night.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I needed, and was able to knock off Alfredo. That was a good thing.
There we go. Yeah, it's always nice to get that first week win.
Because you don't feel like you have to dig out of a hole right away.
Exactly. You're not starting off as a loser. It's just nice.
Yeah. But you said guys who I mean, obviously the first look is you're going to look at Lamar Jackson. I feel like that's the first thing that came out to everyone, was just seeing how well the Ravens clicked on offense and on defense. I mean, for the most part, aside from some garbage touchdowns at the end there, the Ravens just dominated. And I think we all are in agreement, though. you got to look at the competition too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dolphins look like crap, but I mean, I don't want to take anything away from a good scheme that seemed to work pretty well.
I will just say though that the one thing why it's like I can't completely knock what Lamar Jackson did is, you say he got 30 plus points in fantasy, but he only had 3 rushing yards. You're gonna be like, that's some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do this damage with his legs, which typically he's done in the past.
That's the impressive part about it.
So, that's why, you got to take into account who they were going against, but at the same time, you have to see the abilities that he has to not only do it with his legs like he's shown in the past, but his arm, he put out a huge showing.
That's definitely, in my opinion, is one of the most intriguing stories to watch, is to see how this develops, because honestly, he could be a phenom. Like, he could just turn out to be that just stud quarterback.
Yeah.
And, obviously 1 week is a small sample size, but, maybe with the right scheme, this guy could be one of those electric players that could just set the league on fire.
Exactly.
And he it seems like he possesses that skill set. We have to see it more than just 1 week. We just got to see for the next few weeks.
Just got to see the consistency, or like the actual.
And that's definitely like a story we got to follow up with, and I feel like
yeah.
we'll be obviously talking about for weeks to come to see whether or not we think this is, a reality or something that was just kind of more of like a fluke fantasy type thing.
Yeah. Week 1, I got to give my MVP award to Austin Eckler.
Eckler was a stud.
We hate on the Chargers enough, but just absolutely incredible showing.
3 touchdowns.
Ryan shouted him out as well, but 3 touchdowns showing that Melvin Ingram Melvin Gordon doesn't really have a leg to stand on. You're asking for so much money, but there's a guy that just went out and did more than you've done in a season. You know what I mean?
He literally put up one of your better stat lines that you've ever done.
Exactly.
In 1 week.
Yeah.
In a timeshare with Justin Jackson against a good defense in the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. It didn't seem like a fluke. It seemed like he was just running hard and knew how to run the ball. Like, he knew what was going on. We also had a little bit of, I wouldn't say drama in our league, but something got a little stirred up. I made a trade with Chad, kind of caused a little controversy from...
Did it cause controversy?
Hey, you sent that picture of what James was saying. I sent him a text message after the fact, like James was trying to say some shit. Your brother sent me a picture today of him saying, like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to veto it. So
this is, so just to kind of like give some background to this, before week 1, James and Alfredo, who have had a history of some sketchy transactions. I don't know how
I would say,
I don't know how else to phrase
shady
it.
Shady
behavior with one another. They have that history with one another. They make a trade with one another for essentially the top 2 defenses, top 3.
Bears for Rams.
And if anyone who follows fantasy knows, you don't even have to follow fantasy. You just got to know Bears defense is the best defense in football right now.
Yeah.
And, the Rams they're a good defense. Certainly.
Top
I'm
5.
not going to disagree there. But a straight up trade for a team that was ranked probably like as the 3rd best defense.
Yeah, it's like 1 for 3 basically.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
It wouldn't make sense for Alfredo. So we rejected that trade as a league. We vetoed it via trade, which over a third of the people in our league voted against it. And James was pretty upset over it, seemed like. So,
it just seemed, I don't know. To me, it just seemed like he was just trying to stash Rams defense.
Yeah.
He didn't want to drop them.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't want to drop them. You have Bears and Broncos defense. Broncos have a good matchup in the Raiders, or it looked like.
Yeah.
Drop them. Let's see what's going on. But yeah, so, but I have to make a little confession. Not going to lie. No collusion between Chad and I. But I knew that Chad was out on a Sunday drinking heavily. And I knew Alshon Jeffrey was sitting on my bench and had a really good week. And I don't believe in Alshon Jeffrey. I don't know if you do.
I'm not a believer, but I will say this:
And
he is a top receiver on that team.
Yes, I understand that.
So
but
he does have that going for him. But would you trade a guy who's a focal point in a team's offense?
no,
for
but
him?
then I saw Evan Ingram sitting on his bench, on Chad's bench.
Stupidly over David Njoku, in my opinion.
I just don't understand that at all. But knowing Chad was intoxicated, seeing the big numbers Alshon Jeffrey put up, I felt like I had to try to take. I had to put it out there. I don't know if that's unethical. I don't feel like it is, but I just gotta be honest.
I mean, he's had a chance to veto it himself.
Yeah, I just gotta be honest. I felt like I was taking advantage of somebody, and I just gotta put it out there.
I don't necessarily look at it as taking advantage of someone, considering they have a chance to correct their actions, and he did not do that.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's very happy with the trade still, and I think he still has to learn how a standard league works, where the wide receivers aren't as valued as much as these running backs and stuff, and so someone like Alshon Jeffrey put up a great stat line his week 1, and could continue it. And I hope for Chad's sake he does, because I would like some balance in the league. But honestly, that trade, in my opinion, it was filling an area of need for each other's teams, because Chad's pretty thin at that position.
Very thin at wide receiver, and I'm extremely thin at tight end.
You were rolling with Eric Ebron.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's the only reason why, in my opinion, I feel like you're definitely winning on this trade.
Thank you.
But I just felt like both teams are benefiting from it, but I'm not the one pulling the trigger, so I'm not going to be the one to
say
I'm
yes
not,
or no.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the one to hey, Chad, you're fucking up, basically.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Chad, this is what you want to do? Go ahead, make that trade.
Yeah, but so that's a big move I made this week. Also on waivers, I picked up Scary Terry McLaurin. I think that guy's going to be the next Tariq Hill. I said it before. I'm saying it again. I didn't know who this guy was before Sunday, but now that I know who he is, big fan. Huge fan.
I did like that. I'm drawing a blank. Jamison Crowder was available, and I really was thinking about picking him up too.
That's a good pick too,
because he was getting targeted heavily.
So
and I seemed like Keenum and him had a good rapport with one another.
Yeah, I agree. That's that would have been a good pickup.
Was that Keenum or Darnold? Sam Darnold? Can't remember.
I don't know.
Regardless, but still,
not gonna try to lie.
But regardless, he's been heavily targeted. I think Enrique ended up picking him up. I picked up McLaren in my other league. I definitely like that pickup. It was a smart pickup, and
big fan of that, especially because losing Alshon Jeffrey, getting a tight end, I need to bolster up another wide receiver slot.
Yeah, no, certainly beneficial to get as much depth as you can at running back and wide receiver, if at all ever possible.
Yeah,
that's one of the things about fantasy. You can't just be satisfied with the performance of your players that you started. You got to look at even the guys on your bench and evaluate them as whether or not they're worth rostering on your team.
I know. I always feel lucky, but I also feel bad when my starters go off and then I got guys sitting with 2 points, 4 points on my bench. I'm like, dude, if I was feeling one of these matchups, now I don't trust you at all. You know what I mean? Clearly you weren't the guy I thought you were going to be.
You just ruined all my trust with you. So now you're on the bench. And then you know what happens? The next week that guy goes off and you're like, damn, the guy I just started doing ham.
Yeah. Well, I think we owe Matt an apology. I know right after our fantasy draft, we did a podcast. We kind of ripped him up, saying we don't understand what his thought process was. His team ended up going off and beating James, who was,
league champ
last year. So,
hey,
good on Matt. I mean,
I was telling you before the podcast, I thought his team, after the draft, I was not a fan of his team. I felt like he reached on a lot of players. Through week 1, it looks like all of his moves panned out perfectly for him. Because I'm looking at every player rostered on his team, and I'm like, that ended up looking really good right now. And I don't know if that was just random luck or that was by design or whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, the Patriots look really good on offense, and he picked up Tom Brady.
Two of their biggest
Andy
assets.
picked up Julian Edelman. Two guys who are going to probably be consistent players week to week.
I think he has Sony Michel, who didn't really have a huge week.
I think Ryan has him. Ryan has Sony Michel.
I thought Matt had one of the running backs.
He might have James. Might have James White, but Ryan for sure had Sony Michel.
Yeah,
because remember he was trying to trade him with Chad. That was part of the joke. But regardless,
he has James White, but on his bench, so that's a lie. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Regardless, Josh Richards looked really good for the Steelers, or not the Steelers, the Raiders.
Josh Jacobs.
Sorry. I knew it was some like weird generic last name.
Yeah.
But he went off. He looked really good. He looked like him and Darren Waller look like they're the two focal points of that offense. So
Darren Waller's definitely a focal point of that offense.
Yeah, having either of those players, that man, I really wish I had Darren Waller on my team and Hunter Henry tore his tibia a day sooner, because I would definitely picked up Waller. Yeah, I mean, certainly looks like those moves panned out really well for him. I can't even remember who was starting. Oh, he's got Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, even though that wasn't even Saquon's biggest game, the Giants, I don't even know what they're doing, but they shut him down after the second half. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, certainly.
They said that they were going to limit Ezekiel Elliott's carries, and he ended up having as many carries as Saquon did.
Yeah,
so it's like
Saquon, they phased him a little bit.
It was weird.
I have in my other league, I was pretty disappointed after he only had like 13 points or something after starting off the game with one carry and almost had a 60-yard rushing touchdown or whatever to start the game. Yeah, it looked like Saquon was going to be in for a monstrous game, but I mean, you can't argue about 13 points. That's still a pretty solid score.
Yeah.
But still. Yeah, well, any other thoughts on certain players that you thought, overachieved or definitely surprised you this week?
I want to go back to my own team because I felt like there was a couple players.
Mark Ingram looked good, but that was also a product of their offense. Just looked really good.
Yeah, I like the thing that I looked at my team and I was like, I felt solid about is I don't feel like anybody had crazy numbers. Lamar Jackson, with 33 points. I don't think he's going to do that every week.
That's a good week.
I think he's going to be like a 20-point guy.
Yeah.
So, I'm okay with those numbers. But Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, I don't think those are flukes. I think they're doable games for them.
I think Michael Thomas he'll probably do better than whatever he did that first week.
Yeah, honestly, I think Mark Ingram was my biggest surprise.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have 100 yards a game, 2 touchdowns. That's unbelievable. But overall, it's really more or less week one's always hard because it's who you're feeling it people out. It's like, do I have faith in you? Was it just hype? So I feel like it's a big waiver week, if that makes sense.
It's definitely is. Most people use a ball make a lot of transactions the first 2 to 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're, like you said, you're feeling out. You're seeing the landscape of the league because you're seeing how these teams are actually performing on the big stage for the first time. And a lot of it's kind of with this personnel, I expect them to be better this year type thing.
Yeah.
It's more about what you're expecting versus what actually the team looks like. So,
I would say going forward though, I'm very confident in my team. I felt they all had a lot of touches or a lot of receptions for decent amount of yards. Because those are the guys I always that are a flash in the pan. It's you had 4 receptions for 120 yards and people are going crazy over the waiver wire. It's but you only had 4 looks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You didn't have 10 looks.
I look at Deshaun Jackson as he's a guy. I'm he had a great first week, but I'm not picking you up because I know you're big strike dependent. Your line
that John Brown guy on the Ravens.
Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, it was dude, you had 3 looks. For 200 yards. Good on you for having that big of a week, but that's not going to happen every week.
Well, the thing on him, the crazy part is I think he only sat in on like 12 or 18 snaps. I can't remember what it was. You're like, you weren't even.
It was like a handful of snaps. You just got lucky.
You weren't even supposed to be a big focal point of this. That's the part that I'm like, whoa, okay. But I mean, you never know. He could end up transitioning to a bigger role within the team. So
yeah, they could have given him some light, or could have shown that he can get it done.
I'm sure they kind of take their foot off the gas pedal a little bit too, because they were just smoking the Dolphins at that point. But yeah, he's definitely a guy who's kind of, in my opinion, he's kind of like a wait and see type guy. But he's already picked up in our league, in which I think most leagues he's probably picked up too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, for me, with my team, I mean, James Conner kind of scared me quite a bit because he did not throw down at all. And that was more of a product of the game script, in my opinion. Guy only got 10 carries for a guy who's supposed to be the workhorse for that team. And they played the Steelers, and the Steelers just got, I mean, the Patriots, and they just got smoked. It wasn't even close.
I mean, the Steelers have historically been bad on the road, so it's not incredibly surprising to see a performance like this. I think the thing that
bad is pretty bad.
Yeah, I think
only 3 points.
I think the most surprising thing to me was seeing that Juju doesn't have the ability to be a number one wide receiver, and James
you get
Conner,
Stephon Gilmore on him, which he's a stud.
Yeah, he is a stud. I'm not gonna knock that. I'm just saying that you got to be able to produce even still.
Yeah.
You know, and or be at least an impact player. Like, if you're going to get shut down, you got to take another man with you. You can't be shut down by one guy and leave the rest of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Without a doubt.
And then also, I felt like James Conner, he had the element of surprise last season.
Yeah.
People weren't game planning for him. Now they're game planning like they have a running offense. So, I don't know. To be honest, if I have anybody on the Steelers, I'm trying to move them.
I'm not. You can't move them. You're not gonna get your return on investment on those guys. But
yeah, I would just be looking for that big game where it's like, all right, cool, I can make a move now.
Yeah,
that's how I'd be feeling. I
think it's
hard to trust
too much judgment on just the Patriots game. But I'm obviously biased because I have Connor on my team.
Yeah.
So, but another guy on my team that just went ham, which I can't see it on a consistent basis, but I will say I do like his volume that he's going to get, and that's one of the reasons why I drafted him in both of my leagues, was Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had two massive, he had a goal line touchdown and that massive 75-yarder that he broke off. Finished with like 27 points.
Well, that was like a 75-yard reception. Yeah. So that's why it's like, yeah. Oh, I thought you said he broke off like a run. Sorry.
Yeah, he broke off like a 75-yard like receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
But anyways, 27 points. You gotta like that, obviously. But he had 20 carries, I think, which is what I was expecting out of him. So I was pretty stoked that he was able to finish off the goal line. So it's kind of more like, this is what I was expecting, and you lived up to it, and then you had a few breakaway plays that made your line score look really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty excited with that pickup. Let's see. Julio Jones kind of let me down. He just got blanketed, and the Falcons' offense just did not look good altogether. I'm not overly concerned by that because I think the Vikings have a really good defense, and
they have a really good secondary at least.
Yeah, and I just don't necessarily see that happening every week in and week out.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this: the guy who I was really excited about because I felt like I got him as a steal, Todd Gurley. He looked like their system was set up as, he was going to handle most of the carries in the middle of the field. And then the goal line carries are going to transition to their backup, Malcolm Brown, who was going to kind of, close quarters type thing where the hits are a little more confined and everything.
Yeah, a little more aggressive.
He was going to
third and short.
They were going to pass those off to Malcolm Brown.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's going to be the case for the whole season. It could just be to ease Todd Gurley back. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's that, as opposed to consistently Malcolm Brown going forward, getting the Mike
Pulling the
Mike Tolbert
vulture.
Mike Tolbert vulture status.
Yeah.
Because he got vulture twice on touchdowns, and then he only finished like a 10-point game or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, he still had 90 yards. It's nothing to bat an eye at.
That's
but good.
But he's
yeah,
a third rounder. You expect
yeah.
more out of him.
You want a couple touchdowns at least. But.
You want one touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, overall, I mean, I still got to wait and see with what my team looks like. But, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about my team.
Well, yeah, last week we had all that Antonio Brown drama going on with the Raiders. He requests his release, gets released, signs with the Patriots. You have Josh Gordon on your team. Any concern there?
With Antonio Brown, massive concern. I was like when I saw that right before, I'm like, fuck, are you kidding me?
All right, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I'm very concerned as well. But overall thoughts on the Patriots' motive?
Motivation?
Or like, not their motive, or like their thought process on that.
On picking up
Antonio Brown.
I mean, personally, I feel like, whenever you have a chance to secure the best talent, like one of the best talents within the game, you're going to at least listen to it. And
so do you think that there was other NFL teams actively seeking after Antonio Brown? You know what I mean?
I think there probably was a few. I don't think every team feels confident in their culture that they could bring someone like Antonio Brown in and shield out all the issues that he clearly has, because without a doubt, this guy seems like he's the most troubled player in the league. I mean,
I mean, it was Dez Bryant, and then it was Josh Gordon. Now it's Antonio Brown.
Yeah, and Josh Gordon, it was kind of more like he just had his drug problems. It wasn't even like he was acting like a diva.
It was just literally he couldn't get his life together, but it still was a consistent story year after year.
Definitely.
It's just one of those things, yeah.
And then, I mean, certainly, just the latest development. I mean, God, it's just kind of just doesn't seem like it ends with him. And I don't know about you, but for the most part, I'm tired of hearing. I'm tired of hearing about Antonio Brown.
I am.
The man has definitely some issues, and I don't know if it stems from some CTE or whatever it is, but the guy who had such humble upbringings, with being like a sixth rounder from like a small school in Michigan,
being a try-hard, like doing all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
people are saying ever since that Vontaze Burfict hit that he's just not the same.
And I wouldn't disagree with it.
It's like I got to start believing it at this point.
Yeah, because the man was normal earlier in his career, and now you hear him like, what the hell are you talking about? Like you were talking about it the other day, where he's always referring to himself in the third person, and
it's very strange.
It's like a out of body experience. Maybe he's like it's almost like he's on drugs, even though he doesn't strike me as like a druggy guy.
It's like a sock puppet of himself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he's like, this is AB, and it's like, dude, just be yourself.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I hope he can kind of get it together for the most part. I mean, for my for him personally as a human being, yes. For me as a fantasy owner, I hope the Patriots cut him, because I certainly would love that production to go to Josh Gordon, because
give it a flash.
Because that's the reason why I drafted Josh Gordon, was because he was going to be the big player on that team, and in my opinion, with AB there, he's just another receiver on that team. Yeah. I don't view him as a wide receiver 2 anymore. He drops to like a bench stash guy, Mm-hmm. Like, okay, well, maybe Antonio Brown goes down, or the next saga of his drama unfoils or whatever,
and then he'll come back up.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, personally, it just seems like the guy. I mean, this one, it wasn't like he was actively seeking it this time, but I will say this: if Tom Brady believes in you, like Tom Brady's letting him stay in his house and everything. I don't know if you heard that story.
That's sorry.
You don't believe it?
Not for a second.
Really?
Dude, okay. You're a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
I'm a multimillionaire. Hey dude, yeah, you could just sleep on my couch. Like, no, dude, like
I mean,
I'm a millionaire. I'm going to go stay in a penthouse suite.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me over for dinner. This was very kind of you. I'm out.
No, I think it's more of like a build a rapport type thing where he's like he wants him over there because I guess him and Josh Gordon have been like all off season just been like best buds type
I will
thing.
say that Tom does a great job at building up the rapport.
Yeah,
Because
and that's
it's
what
like,
I think
it's
this is
not
all
just
about.
it's not just on the field. It's like, hey, we need to know each other so I can understand how you're going to be out on the field.
Yeah,
Like, I got to know you, you got to know me kind of thing. So it could be true, but at the same time, it's like, no, dude, he's not sleeping at his house. Like,
I don't know.
Tom's knocking on the door. AB, are you up yet? You want pancake? Like, no, go fuck yourself,
God.
dude. Like, he's not doing that.
No, he's for sure not doing that.
Sleeping
God.
next to each other. Are you still up? Yeah. Are you? Yeah.
You want to go play catch?
Yeah.
I'll turn the lights on for us.
You want to play Maddon 20? I'm on the cover of that.
Yeah.
Oh, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah,
No, they're
God.
not doing that.
I was on the cover of 2018 or whatever. God. Oh,
Why do you bleach your mustache? Because I'm psycho.
Yeah,
You know, like,
God.
no.
oh God.
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say this. I feel like Tom Brady's an extremist, and he does certain things that not normal other people do, and it's and I think
love Tom Brady for his work ethic.
that
You
work
can't
ethic
knock
is
on
like is really what I think separates him from every other quarterback in the league. Is that guy is 100% dedicated, to a T.
Yeah.
Like his diet, everything is highly, regulated, and he wants to make sure that he's
it. Dude,
everything's about becoming the greatest player of all time.
LFG.
LFG, that's right.
You know what that means now.
I do. I didn't know what it meant.
What does it
but
mean?
Let's fucking go.
Oh, that is weird. Did somebody say something to you? You don't cuss anymore on the podcast.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. All right, last thing. We got the Pick'em contest going on. Ryan's lock of the week was the Patriots. Brandon, do you have a lock of the week?
My lock is the Buccaneers right now.
You
No,
can't
just-
pick this game.
No, I mean, obviously, if we're trying to burn some of our good picks, you could obviously come up with a good one. But I really felt like the Texans were a good pick.
Damn, that was mine.
Yeah, I like the Texans this week. I feel like they played fantastic against, in my opinion, the Saints are, if not the best, they're one of the best teams in the NFC. And they took them toe-to-toe down to the very last second.
Mm-hmm.
And if it weren't for a 6-yarder, was it 56? 58?
58.
58-yard field goal.
58, that could have been like a 64.
Yeah, if that...
That took me back to being a Chargers fan.
No, that kick was... yeah.
Money.
Yeah, that was money for sure. And with the game on the line, too.
Yeah.
That was actually... Thinking about it, that was probably one of the best football games I've seen in a long time.
It was. Yeah, it really was.
Yeah,
3 lead changes in the last 50 seconds.
Yeah, that was an insane game, and yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. But I do think the Texans. I mean, obviously they lost week 1, but I
Going
think
up
they're
against the
really
Jags
good. And
in Houston.
then I'm looking at Denver. Really, I mean, you lost to the Raiders. That's pretty low. That's a low for them right now.
That's who you're going Broncos lock?
No, I'm going
Back
on
up?
Texans as the lock over the Broncos, right?
Oh yeah.
That's our playing, right?
No, they're playing the Jaguars.
Ah, Jags.
Yeah. No, my lock of the week is the Bears. The Bears over the Broncos.
Ah, that was
You
another
know.
lock that I had.
Yeah, I think the Bears is a lock. Coming off a terrible opening night game. You can't lose that one at home on the 100th anniversary. Going into Denver, Mile High, I definitely think that this is a lock for the Bears. I was thinking about the Browns, but I don't think the Browns are going to pull this one out against the Jets. I think the Jets are going to take this game. Lev Bell, he's going to be a workhorse. He's going to take on a whole lot. I definitely think Ty Montgomery is going to play a huge factor in this game as well. It's going to be a kind of running back by committee. But I just don't trust the Browns
I mean,
I'm off. I feel like I'm starting to get off the Browns bandwagon.
I will say this: the main reason they lost to the Titans was due to poor discipline, and that team had like 200 yards in penalties or something like that in that game. And
but that's
I'm feeling the Browns in that game.
I just feel like the Browns went from an identity of losing to an identity of being undisciplined.
Yeah,
across the board.
I mean, things could change real quickly. I definitely think the Browns, talent-wise, are just head and shoulders over the Jets. And I would feel pretty confident about the Browns. However, it's hard for me to pick them after how much they stunk up the joint week 1.
Yeah.
So I mean, I couldn't comfortably pick them as my lock, but I would definitely feel more inclined to go Browns over Jets.
So we got 3 locks. We got Patriots, we got the Texans, and we got the Bears. Those are our 3 locks of the week. We'll see how good we do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk some baseball. Earlier this week, the home run record for Major League Baseball was broken, previously set in I think it was 2015.
Mm-hmm.
We still have 2 months left of baseball.
Well, yeah,
a month and a half,
including postseason. Yeah,
postseason starts at the end of next month, right?
Yeah, no,
like a month and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking regular season because as a Padre fan, that's the extent of baseball. But
even still, like it's broken this far in advance, like it's crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, there's still so much more time, and
baseball has to come out with a statement saying the balls are juiced. Like, I was listening to the Baseball Tonight podcast, and they were saying that there's over 28 players right now with 30 home runs.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter Renfroe's one of them.
You used to think like, oh, yeah, if a guy hits 20 home runs, like he's having a real good season. Now it's almost like, dude, you got to have 30 home runs to be having a...
Well, 20 is like, you got to have a good average. You got to have good numbers surrounding you.
No, but it's just like that number continues to be inflated. That's my point. Not saying that
30 was
not
like,
good, but
I remember like 30 was like, all right, this guy could be a superstar or he's an all-star caliber player.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like, all right, you got to hit 40 or you got to be really good at a lot of other things because you're not gonna be an all-star caliber player at that point. I mean, some big shakeups and probably the MVP race as well as, the wild card race too.
Definitely. Yeah. Christian Yelich breaking his kneecap.
That's unfortunate because this just proof that like one play can just change everything. Like just one pitch.
One pitch.
Yeah, and
one little instance changes like the whole layout of not only a career but like your team. Like,
he's done for the year.
He's done for the year. I think that takes the Brewers out of playoff contention.
They're still winning though. They're like they're on a surge right now. I think they've won like 8 of the last 10 games, and they won again today. I think they beat the Marlins though, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But still, the fact that they're still winning games. The Padres played a little bit of spoilers this week. They split the series with the Chicago Cubs in a pretty heavily contested series, I thought. Aside from the first game, I think that was the only blowout.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like I'm liking the resilience of the Padres despite the team being out of contention and
10 games back from 500.
Yeah, it's not happening this year. They're not going to be 500 ball club. That was kind of our goal. I think they'll be shy of the goal. I think they'll probably finish around 75 wins this year.
Yeah. I would like to see that. They're about like 9 wins from that.
Less than that. They're like 7. The only reason why I know that is because I have a bet on that
They're
line.
68 wins right now.
Yeah, it's 75, 7 wins away.
Oh, yep. Then my math is wrong. I said 9. That's my fault.
The only reason I know it is because I have a bet with a guy at my work for 75 wins at the beginning of the year. And I took the over on it, so.
Well, it looks like you're gonna push.
I know. That's what I was telling. That's what I was telling him. I was like, "Yeah, we've been trending towards a push since like the All-Star break.
Yeah.
After they went on that cold streak and they lost a bunch of games, but
yeah, But,
Hey, it was entertaining. Keeps the games lively right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the National League, it's kind of confusing to me because I don't feel like really a lot of these wild card teams even deserve to be in the talks. Like the Nationals, obviously, the Cubs. I feel like the Cubs have just been stagnant and stale for a while. I could see them dropping out. The Brewers, obviously, that sucks that they lose Yelich, and that's a huge blow to them. So if they do make it to that 1-game playoff, who knows how well that will go. The Mets, I think the Mets just
wildly inconsistent, like over the top.
Exactly.
Like, and their bullpen's just atrocious. They have a great starting pitching. They got a couple big boppers on that team, but outside of that, they're just nothing.
And they don't deserve to be there. The Phillies are sitting right there too. I think the Phillies honestly have to be the second wild card spot.
I just don't. I'm not buying them.
At a principle at this point.
They have to be, but I don't think so. Even the Diamondbacks are still in it though.
Yeah,
you're just looking at them and I'm like, man, they're just hanging tough for a team that's supposed to be rebuilding. Man, I got a little bit of envy. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely,
because they're doing great right now, and
yeah, but I definitely just don't feel like the National League wildcard slot is deserving of making. They're
going to get smoked in the playoffs. Whichever team comes out of there, in my opinion. But the good thing about baseball is, any given day,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. So you never know with these guys. They can go on. The crazy thing about baseball is you could win 3 straight games and you knocked off the best team, and it erases an entire season's worth of like crappy play. Like, no, not crappy play, but disappointing play.
Yeah.
Not living up to the standard of talent that you have. And so they could just get in and they're probably going to, whichever wildcard team is probably going to play the Dodgers. And it's a
bad matchup for them.
Let's say they just somehow match up well and they win 3 straight or something like that. You could knock off the Dodgers who are having a fantastic season.
Best record in baseball, yeah.
That's just proof of, how crazy baseball is in the postseason.
Yeah.
And how long the regular season is and how condensed the postseason is.
So let me ask you this. Obviously the Cubs, they've been going all in for a while. They've really been making that push for the playoffs. Didn't make it last year, fell short. If they fall short again,
they had a one game playoff, didn't they? Or
I thought they missed the wild card last year
by
entirely, by a half game. Like came down to the last game.
There was two. There was 2 play-in games. Yeah, they were the second wild card, or one of the first wild card team, and they got bounced. Remember?
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Because they had it was a play-in game against the Brewers for the division title, and then they lost that.
Yeah,
and then
you're
they lost
exactly right.
the wild card game.
Yep, you're exactly right. So if they don't make the playoffs again this year, do you think Joe Maddon's out?
Yes.
Now, do you think that obviously we're on Andy Green being let go? Any hopes that Joe Maddon comes to the Padres?
Oh man. I mean, honestly, the Padres need a guy kind of. I do feel like this. Joe Maddon is a little bit the same as Andy Green in certain respects, where he's very laid back and
very relaxed.
Yeah, and I don't know if that would be the best fit for the Padres. Personally, I don't. I definitely think he's more qualified. He's definitely been more accomplished than what Andy Green has done. You could look at him and you're like, yeah, I mean, he's been on some bad teams and he's been on some great teams. And it seems like he knows how to manage egos a little bit. But at the same time, I think, in my opinion, I think we need a guy who's going to kind of knock these young guys around and be like, hey, it's not okay to lose anymore. We're not that same team that was rebuilding. And I feel like that's where we need to start thinking is it's changing the culture within the locker room,
the thought process
from being acceptable to underachieve to being no, the standard is here now. We need to live up to it because us fans, we deserve it, man.
Mm-hmm.
We've been watching some bad baseball for a long time
now,
and it's just a bummer to, look at a lot of the fans are no longer fans of the Padres. I mean, they're fair weather fans. They're going to have it everywhere, but it's a bummer that people are tuning out now that used to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
I will say this. There's a lot to be excited about with the Padres right now with Tatis, Paddack, Machado.
Urias.
I mean, we have a lot of guys to be excited about right now, and I hope they get it together. I do think Andy Green is probably gone this offseason. But you never know. The Padres have, I will say this, they have had some stability in their front office as well as, Andy Green's been our manager for a good, 4 or 5 years, something like that. And, that's one of the things I will give Ron Fowler some credit for is he's not so quick to make decisions on certain things. I definitely think allowing a guy to plead his case to make sure that, he had a good opportunity to provide a winning ball club, but I don't think Andy Green has done anything remotely close to what we're looking
Deserving
for.
of, yeah. Well, another surprising thing with the Padres was Chris Paddack had another shutout start against the Cubs. It was like 6 scoreless or something like that.
He looked good.
He looked good. We were all under the impression that he was going to get shut down the game before this. They gave him another start.
Yeah.
And then even now it seems like he might get one more.
Yeah, I had texted you guys. I was like, man, he finished like a 9-7 win-loss record. His ERA is like a 3.30 ERA, which is really good for a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd actually texted saying basically that, wow,
Think they didn't get it.
I don't think they got it. I think they lost. Wow. What were you saying?
No, sorry, we got broken up. Panthers, Buccaneers. Panthers went for it on 4th and 1 with the game on the line. Christian McCaffrey in the Wildcat, fake handoff, goes for it. Cornerback comes up to make the play, and it doesn't look like he's going to get the first down. He did stretch at the end, though. He could have gotten it. Gives it that little... maybe he got it. I mean, he came out of bounds before he was officially out.
I don't think it counts if you extend it after you're already out of bounds, though.
But he was still in bounds, technically.
Yeah, but...
Like, if he would have reached and hit the pylon...
The ball has to be in bounds when he's doing that.
I don't know. I don't know what the rule is, so I can't say definitively. Yeah. We'll see how they rule it, but even so, that's a great play by the cornerback to come up on that. That's unfortunate for the Panthers if they don't get this, but
well, their defense gonna have to make a play here.
Yeah,
because they're pressed up on that 2-yard line or whatever, 1.5.
We'll see how that's ruled, but yeah. So good on Chris Paddack.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, rookie year. Any other year, Chris Paddack is a rookie of the year finalist.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's.
I think if baseball wasn't so home run heavy, it would go to him for sure.
Well, Soroka had I think that's his name. I think he's on the Braves. He's had a freaking killer year.
Yeah, the guy with the MLB Leagues League and MLB average or something like that.
ERA.
Or that's what. Yeah.
He's killing it. I definitely think he's obviously got it over Paddack, but. I mean, there's so many great rookies this year. That's one of the things I've noticed about baseball the last several years. Is there's constantly a flux of good young talent coming in.
Definitely.
And I mean, that's obviously good for us viewers and fans. It's a lot tougher for these guys who are trying to make a bunch of money because they have to serve out their rookie contract and can't get paid.
And then they got to try to go for a second contract.
So yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think someone like Manny Machado has been in the league for a long time now, and now he's kind of a little bit more of an afterthought.
And he's only 27
compared to some of these other guys who are getting called up now. Yeah, I mean. Hats off to Paddack. Great year. Tatis, God, if he stayed healthy this whole year, I know for sure we would be writing Rookie of the Year next to his name, but it's not. that's the way it unfolded for us Padre fans.
Mhm.
Can't get everything. We can't
Yeah.
get one thing.
Yeah. Well, all right. We'll wrap up the podcast. Looks like the Panthers didn't get that first down, so that's the game. Panthers lose it to the Buccaneers, which is just sad for the Panthers. That's just a franchise that's fallen off the rails. I have the stat of the week this week. You ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Stat of the day, stat of the day, dabba-dooba-doo, stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that what? Stat of the day. Bop!
All right, so this is more of like a fun fact. I don't really know if it's a stat or I don't have the number for it, but have you heard the name Nicholas Castellanos?
Nick Castellanos? Yeah.
Yeah, for the Cubs.
Yeah, he used to be on the Tigers.
Yep. So Nick Castellanos
Yeah.
hit 2 home runs in the same day for 2 different teams.
That's pretty impressive.
So he was on the Tigers beforehand. It was a game on May 19th that had a rain delay. Yeah, so it
That's
was
funny.
a rain delay there. They finally replayed it and made up the game. He hit a home run in the 3rd inning of that game, and then on September 6th, he hit another home run for the Cubs in the 3rd inning as well. So 2
that's
home runs
impressive.
in the same game for 2, or on the same day for 2 different teams. It's just kind of fun. you
Yeah,
know?
no.
That's like interesting to think about, just how rain delays play out and that kind of
Nick
stuff.
Castellanos, man.
Yeah. There was another one with the A's, the A's catcher, Sean Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
People are calling him a time traveler because he didn't get called up yet in that May 19th game that got delayed, but he got called up for the replay, and he played in that game, subbing in for
Nick Castellanos.
subbing in for Nick Castellanos. So technically, he's a time traveler because he got at bats on a game in May 19th that he was still in the minors for.
That's right, man. We love our time travel.
Love the time travelers. Everything's like Hot Tub Time Machine.
That's right. That's really my standard for, the physics or what is that? It's not physics. It's what would you call that?
Quantum physics.
Quantum physics. That's what it is.
Space-time continuum.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, everybody, we are the Three Amigos and a podcast. Find us under 3A anywhere you listen to podcast. Hopefully Ryan has some fun at the Jonas Brothers. We will have another fun, mundane weekend here in San Diego.
Mundane.
That's right.
That's right. Mundane.
Watching some fantasy football, watching some football. But everybody, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week.
Later.